Welcome back. You're joining us on Commodity Champions, which we are live at from IIJS, which is the world's second largest jewelry festival or jewelry exhibition, let's say that. Joining us is a new set of guests now. We have with us Mr. Yash Agarwal, who's from Bidhi Chand Ghanshyam Das. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have with us Mr. Tamreed Abdullah from Jawhara Jewellers. He's the Deputy CEO there. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Abdullah, let me start with you first. And while we have seen a slowdown in US and China to some sense, Middle East definitely seems to be growing right now. The jewelry demand, the jewelry numbers, and even the expansions that we hear from Middle East have been on the higher side.
Absolutely. I mean, today the expansion of business in the Middle East is an ongoing thing. Maybe it's not a great progress, but it's ongoing to betterment for sure. And again, we look at the IIJS show here as one of our main supply for jewelry. Today, we look at the United Arab Emirates and India in terms of the business of the jewelry. It's like two faces to one coin. Today, without the Indian suppliers here, we can do much less.
Mr. Abdullah, what are the numbers like in Middle East? How important is India as a market? And would you also say that as in India, almost 85 to 90% of jewelry businesses are jewelry houses. It's a family business. Is that how it is also at Middle East?
It is definitely today. Jewelry business is mainly families because families can maintain and constantly grow the business because they love the business. I mean, today we are the fourth generation in this business. Our company has been registered back in 1907. So it's almost 114, 115 years old family in the business. Today, we are proud to be in this business. I've been asked once by one of the interviewers some time ago, if you are reborn again, what would you like to do? I said, I will do business, jewelry, nothing else. So that's our passion and our love.
And also, how would you look at India as a market, and how do you look at India as a market where you source from?
See, today, as I told you earlier, if without India, we cannot do much. Today, the Indian suppliers, manufacturers, have been doing great also for the past decade. They've been more adapting to our type of jewelry. So today, India became one of our main sources of the jewelry business. Today, we import out of our total sales more than 56% of the jewelry from India. So again, and it's growing so far.
So what would you say is the overall Middle East jewelry market right now? What is the kind of growth that you have seen until now?
See, I can tell you about our company in particular. We have done a double-digit growth from last year to this year, half, let's say, till June. We've done over 17% better than last year. Again, we have been attending most of the exhibitions happening in India, either in Jaipur, in Mumbai, in South India. We've been also been introduced to new jewelers, new manufacturers, that they have some beautiful jewelry. And again, Indian jewelry is known to be intricate jewelry, finely made. It involves lots of hours to manufacture.
Yash, hi. Getting you in the conversation as well.
Yes,
so
I
India
was pretty much involved into the conversation as Mr. Tauheed was telling everything, which is very inspiring.
It is, totally is. What would you say on how the first half of this year has been, Yash? I mean, it has been slow in sense of sales, but we have seen expansions come in. We saw a couple of IPOs come in as well.
Yes. So the first half of the year was slow, but what we have seen the growth in last 2 years, in that comparison, it was slow. But it wasn't a bad time. But then the quarter has just changed by IIJS, and we are all expecting it to be a booming year again.
Any numbers that you also are putting out on what do you expect the second half to be, and especially the Diwali time to be?
So this time Diwali is a little late, so the market is going to pick up late, and also the wedding season is later in the end of the year. I think the business is going to grow at least by 25% this year.
For the second half, that is.
Second half.
So exports, apart from Middle East, haven't really picked up in the other parts of the world.
Yeah, there has been a slowdown, and then there is a global war, which is a pandemic was there, the global war is there. So, I think apart from Middle East, there is no other market right now to concentrate on. Also.
Okay.
It's very nice to hear.
Because Middle East is opening up. The Saudi has started liberalizing their policy. It's becoming a very huge market too for Indians to see.
And what are we majorly exporting right now? I mean, is it diamonds? Is it studded gem jewelry? What is really doing well when it comes to exports?
So earlier we were only as a manufacturing hub. Now we are becoming a design hub as well. So we are exporting the quality designer made jewelry as well to the world. And Middle East being one of the oldest partners and one of the patrons for us to take as the manufacturers and keeping the jewelry out over there, we have a huge inventory which goes to Middle East as a designed exclusive piece jewelry.
Yeah, sure. While we, of course, are looking at export numbers in a big way, but would you say that the domestic market is equally exciting? Are we looking at stronger numbers? And if yes, then what geographies do you see picking up faster?
India is the growing story, and everybody in the world is talking about India. Domestic market was always strong. We had a passion for jewelry. Like since the time a child is born in the family, the parents start collecting a small piece of jewelry in India. So that's how I don't see that dying, and it's keep on growing.
Does that happen in Middle East as well?
It does definitely. Again,
Okay.
we are two cultures that are very much the same. And again, sorry to add one small point to the one of the main reasons of the growth of the business and exchange of business between our country and India. The new CEPA agreements being signed between United Arab Emirates and India has encouraged us to import more and more from India because there will be no any custom charges for whatever is imported from India, which means it's opened both doors all the way.
So, you know, at the IIGS in last 4 or 5 days, we've seen a lot of conversations go through, whether it has been about demand, designs, creating records, even the pricing part of it, and of course the policies, measures, regulations, etc. What do you think needs to be done now to ensure that there is a further push for the industry?
So the couple of things are there that we need to ease out our export policies, which of course people have been talking about and we have been saying. So that's one thing. Other than that, the only thing which we need to grow this market into anywhere in the world is determination. I don't think so there is anything else which lacks.
You know, Yash, I was talking to so many people here, and they are second and third and fourth and fifth generations in some cases as well who've taken over into the industry there. Would you say a lot has changed with every generation that comes in?
I am the 5th generation jeweler. So that is one. I heard him saying that why do people are there into family businesses? Because jewelry is basically trust. And if a family member is not attached to the business, you don't have a trust in that business. So that's why we are generation to generation carrying on the legacy. So yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
I see it as, sorry to interrupt you,
Sure.
but today I see it as like having the family doctor that the whole family goes to. The family jeweler is also one of these
We
things
know the
that go
remedies
on.
basically. That's why we go. They come to us.
Okay. You know, with every few years that go by, and this is a question to both of you, and you can choose to answer first. We've seen gold do perfectly well, and then silver designs come in. Platinum made an entry. Diamonds have done well. Solitaires and fancy cuts came in, and then came the lab-grown diamonds as well. How do you look at the market for that?
See, again, the precious metals, the precious gemstones and the diamonds, etc. Today, whatever God has created on earth are the precious things. Today, I hope nobody gets offended, but I see the lab-grown diamonds, the lab-grown emeralds and sapphires, the doublet stones and all this. It's all, I think it's a phase and it dilutes, like we've seen back in the 70s when the cubic zirconia came into the market. Arbu said it's going to kill the natural diamond market, blah, blah, blah. And then it took its sparking. Then we got to the Mosonites back in the early 90s. And again, it's taken its sparking in its place. I see things going for the lab grown more or less in the same direction. But again, as long as there's creativity in India, which we see there's a lot of creativity. Every exhibition we come to, we realize that there are lots of new things and honestly competing with the international brand level. So I see big growth.
Well, I would add in that, I was reading Harry Winston, one of the most famous jewelers of all time. He said that natural diamond or a color stone, however small it can be, but it is going to be natural.
Yeah.
It is something which is gifted by God. The man cannot create it. So I don't foresee a much change in the trend. Yeah, but being the fashion, there's going to be increase in the market as the volume and the players are going to increase with who can afford jewelry more easily. So there is going to be a change, but not in the numbers for the natural diamonds or natural jewelry, but they will be increased, or there will be another market which is going to be created for CVDs and other.
Oh, well, absolutely. There's so many innovations happening, technology changes and whatnot. And we will, of course, look around at those markets. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah
Thank
Yash,
you,
for
madam.
joining
Thank
us
you.
today at
Pleasure.
CNBC TV 18.
Pleasure.
That's all the time that we have on Commodity Champions. Thank you for watching.